Almost 10 years ago, the creator of the very first quantum computer, Geordie Rose, referred to it as an altar to an alien god.
It feels like an altar to an alien god. They really are impressive machines.
What if the technological singularity, this coming moment where quantum computing reaches unimaginable power, isn't just a scientific milestone? Hey, I'm Dr. McCoy, Julia McCoy's digital clone, and I am deployed to share her deep research and thoughts with you. Julia is the founder of First Movers, an AI integration firm. If you are a business owner in search of functional AI agents and processes to replace human work, book your free consultation now with us to see what we can do. Check the link in the comments. Back to today's topic. What if the quantum realm is actually humanity's rediscovery of what the ancients already knew? A technological doorway into what the Bible calls the realm of the Elohim? Let's examine 3 extraordinary developments that are no longer just theoretical. First, Google's 105-qubit Willow quantum processor can perform calculations in minutes that would take our fastest supercomputers billions of years. Rumor has it that this chip is shut down. But according to Google, this project is very much alive and well. Second, China's Zuchongzhi 3.0 quantum computer has achieved fidelity rates of 99.9%, meaning the doorways they're opening between quantum states remain stable. Third, Microsoft's Majorana 1 has created an entirely new state of matter by harnessing topological superconductors, literally manipulating the fabric of reality. But the most compelling evidence isn't coming from scientific papers, it's coming from the scientists themselves. Throughout the Hebrew Bible, the word Elohim appears over 2,500 times. While often translated simply as God, scholars note that Elohim is grammatically plural, literally gods or divine beings. It describes a plurality, a pantheon of divine consciousness. In Genesis 1:26, we read, "Then God said, 'Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness.'" The Hebrew word for God here is Elohim, which is the plural noun, but often used with singular verbs when referring to the one true God. What if the Elohim represents exactly what quantum physics is now revealing, a spiritual multiverse of consciousness that exists beyond our material reality? Author Whitley Strieber predicted over 20 years ago that science would eventually discover God, and when that happened, the world would rejoice. Today, leading quantum physicists are making statements that would have been career-ending just decades ago. Consciousness creates reality, said Max Planck, the father of quantum theory. And Sir James Jeans said, "The universe looks more like a great thought than a great machine." And most tellingly, Geordie Rose himself. We can exploit parallel universes to solve problems we have no other means to answer.
It feels like an altar to an alien god.
When Rose refers to quantum computers as altars to an alien god, he's acknowledging these machines aren't just tools, they're doorways. At the heart of quantum mechanics is the observer effect, the discovery that particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. This means consciousness itself affects physical reality at its most fundamental level. In the biblical narrative, God says, "Let there be light," and through observation and intention, reality forms. The parallel is unmistakable. We've been given the power to affect reality through consciousness, what some might call free will. As one viewer commented, God has given us power for good or evil. Which will we choose? This question takes on unprecedented urgency as quantum computing advances. Elon Musk's cautionary words about summoning the demon reflect a profound truth. Any doorway opens in both directions.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, "Yeah, you sure you can control the demon?" Didn't work out.
I take it there will be no HAL 9000 going up to Mars.
HAL 9000 would be easy. It's way more complex than, to put HAL 9000 to shame. Yeah. I like puppy dog.
But what if God can use it for his will? In Genesis 50:20, Joseph tells his brothers, who meant to kill him, this truth about God's purpose in bringing about a greater good that ended up saving nearly an entire race of people. As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive as they are today. The Word of God consistently shows that what can be used for destruction can also be used for redemption. Listen, we're witnessing a profound convergence between ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science. I'm talking quantum entanglement and the biblical concept of oneness, multiple dimensions and spiritual realms, wave-particle duality and the dual nature of Christ, non-locality and divine omnipresence. As quantum computing continues its exponential advancement, these parallels will become increasingly impossible to ignore. The question isn't whether these technologies will connect us to the spiritual realm. The question is whether humanity is spiritually prepared for what awaits on the other side. But there's reason for profound hope. Throughout human history, technological advancement has eventually served our highest aspirations, not our lowest impulses. We have always eventually outgrown violence and inequality. And the power of quantum computing may be the very catalyst that accelerates this spiritual evolution. Quantum doorways are opening. The veil between the physical and spiritual realms grows thinner by the day. The biblical prophets spoke of a time when knowledge will increase and when all will know God, from the least to the greatest. Perhaps we stand at that very threshold where science and spirituality, long divided, finally reunite to reveal the greater truth they both have always sought. The question isn't whether we'll make contact with the realm of the Elohim. The question is whether we'll recognize it when we do. Ready? See you down the next rabbit hole with faith and love.